Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roll on the Adventure, the podcast where we play, adapt, and destroy RPGs for your viewing pleasure. I'm your host today, Amy Smith, and I will be running this lovely game of Polisurgy. With me, I have Chris.
Hello. Not dead.
Ed.
Hello, friends.
And Purple.
Hello.
Alright, so we've made some changes to the game since we've last played for you all. And would we like to go through what those are?
Are we not doing the intro?
Oh yeah, shit, intro.
Stop trying to skip it just because you hate it.
No, I hate this intro. Alright. Roll on the adventure. Roll on the adventure. Okay, I know someone didn't sing during that. Anyway, okay, so yes, if we'd like to go through some of the changes we made since last time, Purple, would you like to do the honours?
Okay, so the main thing, we kind of realised that we weren't sticking to specific actions for buildings, and we decided to lean into that. So now there is a list of different actions with different points costs, and it's up to you to justify them in for what building and what point type you're using, and how that's relevant to your situation. The main thing that this is going to do is make it easier to play because we're not going to have massive lists of stuff. But also, it means that destroying certain hexes becomes more important than stopping buildings being used, and it also means that we know how many actions everyone has.
All right.
It's basically you've got so many points to spend on actions.
Okay, and one of the things we were discussing, which I thought might be good to discuss here, is the idea of a win condition, because in the last game it was presupposed that the plucky new upstarts did actually fail their mission and got conquered by the Empire. So my question was, should there be a win condition where we defeat the Empire as opposed to just survive it?
Or turn it back.
Yeah, in some way, because obviously the way we've been doing the small upstarts is they have a certain amount of points, and getting a certain amount of instability, I think double to that number, collapses them. So I'm not sure whether that should be the same for the Empire.
I think with the Empire, maybe they're on a timer. Maybe they got to keep doing stuff to stop their internal unrest becoming too much. So they've got an instability, but it's like a different type of instability.
Yeah,
but it also spirals out of control as well.
I'm about to say, you could definitely argue that the time limit of the game, which I believe we said was about 4 rounds, and a maximum size game, that would be essentially, so the Empire is gaining instability every round. And you could say that's a time limit. And secondly, obviously we might not be doing it this game, but something you could do is you could say, based on how much instability either the upstart or the Empire has, certain different actions are unlocked. Things that become really more cool. Risky. More risky, the higher reward plays could become unlocked. Because then at least there's a... You go first.
I think definitely for the Empire, the idea of making a big play and it backfiring should leave them quite shaken in a way that's hard to get rid of.
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool idea because, it gives the Empire a sense of progression that comes from the game as opposed to the DM.
Yeah,
because I think last time, Ed, you had your big action, the Crusades, and you used that when you thought it was appropriate as opposed to when the game, there was no prompting from the game. So exactly. I think that'd be an interesting thing to write into the rules as a sort of thing to make that more interesting for the DM experience.
Like a sort of signature power almost.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Action.
But I think I can agree that maybe the plucky young upstart shouldn't be able to destroy the massive evil empire because that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more of just a withstand it until, Rome falls in on itself.
That makes sense, honestly. All right.
What else did we change? So yeah, there was a thing added for spreading out actions. at a slightly reduced cost for particular expensive actions. And also we actually put down who gets to allocate what action in what circumstance.
Yep, so just a couple of general life changes to make the system a bit more structured than it was in our last episode. It's still not very structured in this episode, but that's what our podcast is here for. So with that, do we want to begin?
Yeah. So, what sort of theme are you thinking?
I like to bring that open to the floor, really, because I can go loosey goosey with anything. But if you want my personal take, I'm a massive fan of Chinese warring state period.
Oh, Three Kingdoms.
Cool.
Yeah, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms and that kind of thing. I based the empire, basically on the Qin Empire, which took over and united China in around 221 BC.
Cool.
So if you like to go with that sort of Asian theming, like Pan-Asian theming maybe, then I'm perfectly fine to do that.
I can go with that. I am warning you right now that my knowledge of that period comes mostly from Kung Fu movies and Dynasty Warriors.
Honestly, that's fine. I'm not going to be playing this completely straight either.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Chinese Bang.
That too, yeah.
I watch a lot of Godfrey Ho films. I'm pretty sure I've got it down.
Nice.
Awesome. So we've gone from Rome to ancient China. Well, Greece living to ancient China, but either way. So people would like to build their empires now.
Okay.
Right.
I'm thinking of going Iron Town time.
Okay. I was thinking of going Star Town.
Ooh. Okay, so you're going for the Astronomy Tower town.
Oh, nice.
All right.
We have a single square of river, which I'm really interested in.
Just a single river.
It's so far away from my tower as well. We can't even see the fishes. It's terrible.
And Chris, what would you like to do?
Oh, I think I'm going to go for Judgment Town.
Oh, okay, so you've got the courthouse, I believe that was.
Indeed, yes.
Okay. So do we want to go through the round table like we did last time, or do we want to shorten that a little bit? Because we sort of went around and said each person doing one thing.
Did. Just drawing out my map, sorry.
That's all right.
Yep.
I have a lot of... I think I've got too many squares. No, I think I've got enough squares.
They should be the same.
We have also been changing some of the maps, so...
Okay. What were the types of thing again?
The 7 types of building. All right.
7 types of.
All the categories of land.
Yeah. So you got mercantile, academic, military, cultural, industrial, and religious.
Yep. So when you put down a building, you can give it one of these types of actions, and that will affect how you roleplay that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Certain things make more sense as certain things. So like an astronomy tower makes more sense to be academic than maybe military, but up to you.
Okay.
Yes, I think last time we had the Pleasure Town that mostly produced gladiators and murder people. So they can be distinctly at odds.
Yes, we did have that. And then once that is done, we will be making our lines like last time.
Okay. I'm gonna map out my thing quickly.
Okay.
So it's how many points do we get to place per round? Is it be placed 2 hexes or 3?
I think it should say on your thing whether there's any special conditions.
That's only for placing of buildings.
Right. I do not remember, honestly. Chris, you're more familiar with the maps than I am.
Yes, so the way we did it before was essentially you had a number of zoning slots, whatever you want to call them, that was the same as your building slots unless something differentiated them, but they didn't necessarily have to be on the...
Yep, so you get to pick 2 each time, so we're going to fill in 8... so we'll have a total of 10 hexes.
But some of the maps have slightly different building rules, so you might be able to squeeze slightly more or less in, but broadly, yes.
Okay.
Cool. So in that case, and there's only 3 of each building.
Yes.
Yes. Generally, people haven't been building much more than 1 of each type.
Except
are
for
these sorry to
Profit
ask
Square.
I do like profits, but no, I'm just wondering, are these maps editable in the thing, or do I have to download them separately and sort that out? Anyway, edit in
I've
browser.
Just drawn one out.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
edit in
I'll
browser.
scribble one in paper.
Okay.
Cool. So I am putting down a lot of military. Funnily enough, I am gonna have. I get one of a courthouse, an embassy, or a cathedral. So I am going to put down. I'm going to put down an embassy. I don't know. Actually, courthouse.
Okay. Bringing
So,
in
I'm thinking it more like an officer's sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ed, what are you thinking with your star town?
You see, I think it makes thematic sense to either have academy because we have a big astronomy tower, or gardens to get a lot of weeds so we have an astronomy tower. There's only 2 types of astronomers I know, and they are really smart or the most relaxed chill smokers I've ever seen. So it's one of those. I have a dice.
Okay. You're gonna roll for it.
Stoners we are!
Okay,
hey,
we
man,
What?
far left top corner. Got to man some gardens, man. Gonna be great.
have the town of stoners. Lovely. Okay. Chris, what are you thinking?
Okay, so I start off with a courthouse, which I'm making religious,
Makes
and
sense.
my other starting building I can plunk down. I'm going to have an academic, or an embassy, which is academic. So we have some
Okay, that makes a lot of sense because history nerd. If we're going in this sort of Warring States era of China, it also had something called the 100 Schools of Thought. So this was around the time of Confucius and all of that. So that makes a lot of sense.
It was generally organized enough that there was actually kind of a baseline level of civilization rather than lots of people stabbing each other in fields.
Oh yeah, like it was a time of massive civil war, especially in this era where you had like the 6 states.
But it was actually organized enough. It was a civil war rather than a bundle of different dudes stabbing each other effectively. Whereas most of Europe hadn't quite got the concept of nation states hadn't emerged yet.
Well, that's the thing, because China's one of the oldest ancient states, in line with like the Incas and stuff like that, and they're the only one that survived to modern day.
Just
just barely. They've had a lot of stupid stuff happen in their history, but
hasn't every country? That
is very true.
Why?
Okay, so how many total squares should we have filled in? Is it 8 or 10?
So it was 4 turns of building, isn't it?
But does that include the first 2 that you get to put down for free?
No. So 4 turns of
so you have 4 turns of building and 1 setup turn, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, question. Since because you have to build next to a building to essentially grow that way, yeah?
Yes, generally.
Well, it has to be
yes.
The hexes have to map like kind of tag on.
Yeah, because I only have 1 building, which is my astronomy tower. So if I'm building a gardens, I have to build another building because I build 2 buildings per adjacent astronomy tower.
No, if I've got 2 shipyards and 2 fortresses, by the way.
Oh, okay. I'll make a gardens and an academy, so they're going to be smart and stoned. Mix it up.
Chris, what are you going for?
Oh, yeah, Chris, what are you doing?
Okay. So I'm going to build a barracks, which will be military, sensibly enough. Military. And I'm also going to build another courthouse. So we can have all of the rules and judgment. This one's going to be academic.
You are legalist, like, all the way. You are all the laws ever. Virtue, what's that?
Pretty much. Well, virtue is what the law says it is.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It is a virtue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, depends who you talk to.
Legalists, philosophers.
Yeah, so, I mean...
The right sort of people.
Well, that's the thing, because you had the Confucianists, or what was known as the rule school of thought, which was basically virtue is everything, we need a virtuous ruler, blah, blah, blah. And then you had the legalists who were like, no, that's not going to work because no one is actually that good. We need laws, blah, blah, blah. And so they kept fighting each other for hundreds of years.
Yep. All about that Confucianist life.
Yep. I mean, there were, like I said, there was like hundreds of schools of thought during this time, and a lot of them have been lost to time. But certain ones remain.
Or various emperors destroying all of the texts.
Yeah.
Yes, spoilers of that time period where it all got burnt down.
Yep.
By
what happened to make wooden castles?
You have spoilers for actual history.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts.
I guess. Because I'm going to be based on the First Empire, so...
Wow.
So clearly we need to...
So...
Yes.
So how are people doing?
I've got 2. Oh, I've got some more.
All right.
We get four build actions at the start, yeah?
Yep.
And
you've got your...
initial 2.
Yeah.
You've got your initial 2, and you've got 4 subsequent build actions where you can make tiles and buildings.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna
Meanwhile, while he's doing that, sorry, Purple. What are you going to name your state? You don't have to use a Chinese name because
I'm very tempted just to call it Redcliffe.
Redcliffe. I feel there's a reference here I'm not getting, sadly.
Oh, have you never seen Redcliffe?
No.
Battle of Redcliffe.
It's not just a film, Ed. It's a real battle.
I know it is a real battle. It's just fucking great.
So I have I'm at a bend in a river. There are so I've got rivers in 2 places. I've got one that's sort of industrial, and I've got one area around which is all military. I've got 2 shipyards, and I've got a docks, a bazaar, and a shipyard in my industrial centre, and I've got 2 fortresses, a shipyard, a courthouse, and a coliseum. So that's my thing. I am about the fighting. I'm seeing it on like an actual bend in a river. With the main fortress kind of up on the hillside, looking down over it. If you think of those like bits where it's sort of like the river's sort of winding and there's those big cliffs coming up, and it almost touches back again. It's like that. It sort of straddles like a gap.
Gotcha.
That's pretty cool. Chris, how are you doing with your empire?
Okay. So I have a bazaar and a library. So the bazaar is industrial. It's primarily focused purely on introducing and bringing in raw trade goods rather than being like cultural or based on trying to get fancy new things. And a library, which is academic, basically to go along with the 2 courthouses. And my town is known as 1,000 Brushes, as it is basically where a lot of scholars and sages make their home, trying to arbitrate between various deliver judgment on various cases, bring to them and try and find the one true set of laws that are best for these warring lands.
All right, that is super cool. I really like that.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ed.
Hi, friends. So, I essentially just like surrounded and cloistered around my astronomy tower. Get more buildings that way for now. I have following down from the top left corner is garden, academic, profit, another garden, another academic, and then above it I have a bazaar, and then I have an embassy to the side.
Cool.
Which is exactly. So I have enough to trade all my stuff, and also like be like, hey man, we're here, just chilling.
Right. What are you going to call it?
I'll tell you what I'm going to call it. It's going to call Tamada.
Ooh.
If anyone wants to put that into Google Translate, you'll find a funny joke there. But it's Tamade, spaces between all the two. Tamada.
Tamada. All right. Okay, that's pretty awesome. I'm going to leave that to the listeners to go look that up. I'm not going to spoil that joke. All right. And with that, I believe we are ready to start.
Yes.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay, so just a small bit of preamble. I'm going to say it is the Warring States period in a weird pan-Asian China. And the evil empire, the Yao, have started to gain military strength after centuries of being essentially the one that got picked on by everyone else. Called a barbarian. Yeah, they got called like a barbarian and all that kind of stuff. And they're just like, okay, they eventually got enough power and stuff to start threatening empires. And unfortunately, you three are right next to it. And you are all next to each other. And you're about to be borne down by the Yao. So, let's start the first, I guess, season.
Okay.
Question: did we have our lines to cross to do? Or...
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Let's do our lines. So, who wants to start? Who's got an idea?
I have one. That's okay.
Yep.
All right. What's your idea, Ed?
I believe, man, that like everyone should agree on everything, man, and not everyone's on board with it.
Okay, so all decisions must be unanimous.
Yep.
All right, that's a very interesting one. Chris, do you have an idea?
Okay. Yep. So mine is the law is the final arbitrator of all things.
Okay, so chaos isn't necessarily your thing.
Yep. So they should always look to past precedents and the ancient and the old laws and so forth.
That is super cool. I really like that idea. Purple. Well, what's your line you're never going to cross?
We control the river, no one else.
Protect the river!
Yep, apparently our group has a thing with rivers and protecting them.
Well, it's also more like I am not like we get to say who's coming past us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. There's this is a bit of extra stuff there.
So good.
Makes sense. All right, so if everyone makes a note of their lines, no one's in direct conflict with each other this time, so we'll see how this works.
I mean, we've got 2 more lines to pick, right?
Well, that's true, yeah, you have your softer lines.
It was up to 3, wasn't it?
It was up to 3. You could choose
points.
more. Yeah. So, yes, you can put them into other things.
Okay, so my second one is wisdom is knowing when to use overwhelming force.
Okay.
All right, so that's an interesting one. So that might come into conflict with use the law.
Yeah. It's like, right, if it's telling us to never do this, then, well, yeah,
makes sense.
That's probably not real wisdom, is it? That's kind of think where they'll probably go. We'll find out.
What about the other 2?
I'm still thinking. It's tough. It's tough. Ooh. How about like no fighting, man? I just don't dig with the fighting. If my 2 friends are like fighting, I gotta step in and just give an ultimatum because that's just not on.
Ooh, okay,
if
that's
2
gonna be really
people argue,
fun.
I had to step in and give it like, here's what we do, man. You in?
All right.
And I also then have to follow up with having them both agree on it. Why have I done this? That's fine. Yes.
You've made a difficult job for yourself, but that's what makes this interesting. So.
Yep. So what happens when you're high all the time? Anyway. Drugs are bad, kids.
Okay. So mine is once committed to force, it must be delivered with overwhelming and crushing power.
Okay, so two of you are like, if I need to use force, I will use it, and the other one's like, if I'm going to use force, I'm going to decimate them. The other one's like, guys, stop fighting.
It's all good. It's all good. Pretty much. Oh no.
I've just realised your group of cities can just be sort of summarised as a sailor, a lawyer, and a stoner walk into a bar.
Yeah.
I say a stoner about a lawyer walk into a Yao club and it all goes wrong.
I'm trying to think of my last line and I'm not sure what to take for it. I mean, if I'd have gone religious, I could have gone, let's have some monks, but let's not. Because...
I mean, by the fact you're not religious, you could do something with that. So, maybe religion isn't your country's thing.
True, yeah.
Like maybe something like people are way too superstitious.
Oh yeah, like omens and like little what do you call them? Not tradition, like I want to say paranoias, but they don't call it that because that's rude.
Curses and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, customs and rituals and things.
Yeah, all of that stuff. So it could be something like rituals are in bad omens are in the heads of fools.
Well, yeah, we should be governed by practicality or something, or by reality or something.
Yeah, so something like that could work. What about the other two?
I'm thinking of taking like something like you use every advantage you can get.
All right, yep. So fast and deadly.
It's like if you see an opportunity, you go for it.
That's good.
Sometimes wait a bit longer until the time is absolutely right,
and then destroy.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Cool. Has everyone else done?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of a third. So
I'm all done.
Yeah. By the way, I did go for Redcliffe as a name. It's called the Iron Bend.
Love it.
Okay. So we have, was it Yamada or Yamade?
Tamada.
Tamada. Sorry. Oops.
It's okay. Tamade, all 3 words.
All right. So we have that one.
Sorry,
I'm just gonna mess it up every time I say it, so I'm gonna say that one. The Thousand Brushes and the Iron Bend.
What was it? Demada.
What's Chinese for that one?
Tamade.
No.
Tamada.
I could name it Nage, which means that one in Chinese.
I mean, I'm fine to just do Tamada.
That's all good then. Tamada.
Awesome. Okay. So everyone got their lines?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start. So first season, I as the Empire, I'm going to put down some actions on the board.
Ooh.
So I'm going to do...
Hold music.
Just imagine a loading scene.
Let's start singing the intro again. Yeah.
There's a number missing off the sheet.
No, don't say these things.
Oh no, there wasn't. It was hidden.
Oh, thank goodness.
I did that with a number tracker in a game once where it skipped from like 96 to 98 or something. It's just mildly embarrassing.
Okay. Yep, so that's all my actions put down.
Okay. Right. I got a firm idea of what I want to do. If that's okay with you lot.
Sure, you lead this charge, man. You
okay.
do you.
So I've got 6 points in military, so I am going to use my fortress, and I am going to put down. I'm only going to spend 5 points, but 5 points. So I am going to add a hex of my choice next turn, and I'm going to extend that to an extra place.
Okay.
So I'm going to put that over coup d'etat.
Okay.
And I am going to put the second one. I am going to put the second one over fire. So I am intentionally not going near the others. I've got a 4-point action to spend, but I'm going to wait to see what other people do before I put that down.
Okay.
So it's a point per square, yeah? Just bring this up.
The respective types, yeah.
Respective types. Just need to remind myself which types I have. These are mostly academic buildings.
Yeah.
Bazaar's mercantile and embassy is diplomacy, if I recall. I'll double check that. I have stuff to do with all this education I got growing.
Get educated.
I'm very educated. So educated, I know the best strains. And you know what, man? Don't tax my weed. Don't tax my weed. I'm going to go and pick a building type. Only you may gain the benefit of the building. I'm going to use the building's possess. Yeah, no, not about that. I'm going to... I have exactly 5 points. So yeah, I'm going to strike back. Can I... Yeah, strike back at the Empire.
How so?
Okay, so...
You can't tax our weed, we're going to tax your weed. I'm going to start a legal battle. I want a legal battle to tax their weed instead of ours. How dare they try and tax us?
So you're going to try and monopolise the weed.
Exactly. You can't tax what you don't own, man. Like, property's an illusion, man. You don't know.
Alright, so what does strike back against the Empire do? What's the action say?
It says strike back costing the Empire dearly ? So
okay, so I'm going to say I get to choose what happens.
Yes, that will be a fair assumption. I'm picking this to see what it does because I'm intrigued. So as you start picketing the Yao Empire, boo man, boo.
Alright, so you've chosen to take your entire action on this, so I'm going to say, tell me if this is too much. Choose a number between 1 and 10.
Ooh, I'm going to check 8, because 8's a good number.
8. Okay, 8 is now off the table for the rest of the game.
Ooh! What do you mean by that?
Or at least it's off. This is where I want to ask. I've got a list of 10 or so actions here that I can take, and I've said, and that you've chosen one. When it costs me
but we need to roll it first.
Oh, here we go. Roll these.
Right, yes. So that's what will happen. If you do that, something will go off the table.
Nice.
And I will not be able to do it.
Gotcha. Oh, right, that's fair. So 8 is off for you, but we can still pick 8 if we want.
Yeah. So if you roll that correctly, then something will go off the table.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. That's cool. I dig that.
Because it makes sense to have a good cost for you spending your entire turn doing that.
Exactly. Look, we know what we want. Weed store.
Chris, what do you want to do?
Okay. So I'm fair. I have a not particularly strong focus on any one area. The strongest I've got is academic with 3. So using my various scholars and legalists and so forth, I am basically going to begin recruiting the local peasantry, or looking into the justifications and legal rationales for recruiting the local peasantry into an army, and we'll put 3 points into trade mission. I'm just trying to find something vaguely narratively appropriate. Actually, 3 points into basically interposing any bureaucratic actions the enemy may take against us by basically having lots of armed peasants and soldiers suddenly everywhere.
Okay, so you're going to try and sort of protect yourselves.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, turtling for the win.
The
Cool.
turtle strategy never fails.
Okay, so with that, I believe, how are we doing this? Are we rolling once for the Empire?
I've got a 4-point action to spend as well.
Oh, yes, you do, don't you?
So I'm not going to spend a 4-point action. I'm going to spend a 3-point action. I am going to instruct my various mercantile concerns in order to start producing things for military expansion. And I'm going to do the double 1-point type of your choice next turn.
Okay.
And I am going to stick that. I'm going to stick that over backlash. Was it? Yeah. So the idea is, if I get this, then I will be very happy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what I'll do.
All right, awesome.
Cool.
Okay, so has everyone spent all their points?
I've got 2 left, but I'm saving them. Up.
Okay, yep, you're going to save them, fair enough. All right, so I believe we roll once for each player, is that correct?
Once for each player in an empire one, yeah.
Okay, so Purple, if you'd like to roll first.
No, because I didn't realize to.
Oh, no. All right. Who wants to roll first?
I'm rolling.
Someone else roll, I'll go get some dice.
Well, that's a natural 1, so luckily that's not that bad in this game.
Okay, yeah, you have a nat 1, so unforeseen complications. You cannot use a building type of your choice this turn.
He. Ha. You know, man, we don't need those, like, talking to people. The embassies, we could just shut them down.
Okay, so you're going to shut down your embassies for... when it says this turn, I presume it means the next turn.
Yeah.
All right.
We did an investigation, man. Turns out did you hear our government was smoking weed? Terrible.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Terrible. What scandal.
Well, your strike back, though.
I have a strike back, but we've not rolled it.
I just rolled it.
Oh, thank God!
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Purple, you rolled 18.
I got...
Right.
Well, which triggers Ed's thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it does not trigger my thing, does it?
Ooh.
Awesome.
No.
Okay, that
Like,
sucks.
some things do, but that one doesn't.
That makes sense. So, strike back. In that case, you chose 8.
Get rid of it.
All right. Asking you, Purple, should I say what it would have been, or should I just say it's off the table?
Just don't say what it is.
Okay,
it didn't happen. They were trying. You mean you could sort of say
imply what it was,
but you don't have to tell us.
Okay. I'm going to say. So, how are you striking back? What were you doing?
Man, we got all our fellows. Even if our corrupt government, we still managed to get a fair and balanced argument in our taxation crisis by setting several presidents in the span of 10 seconds and taking that president back to the Yao and showing them what's what. We're setting a legal precedent so they can't mess with us any further. And also it hurts them in the press. Well, yeah, sorry.
So basically, if the Yao come after you, you're going to like sue them or something.
Yeah, pretty much. If they try to grow their own weed, it's like, yo, no, man. Painted on that. We've painted weed. That's what we've done. We set it painted on weed. We're making the next opium wars.
Okay, that's a very interesting. Okay, yep, that's fine. So yeah, you promise to sue them if they try and intercede on your weed, and because of that, a bunch of their soldiers just rebel because they can't have weed now. So yeah,
I imagine that's stressful for them.
That affected something to do with their military, is all I will tell you.
Fantastic.
But okay, awesome. So, what did you roll, Chris?
I got a 4.
4. So, what's on 4? There's nothing on 4 except exchange. Use the building of another player this turn as if it were your own.
Okay.
Okay. And now it's my roll. What happens if you roll the same number as someone else? Do you just do that thing again, or do you re-roll? Because I rolled a 1.
I think if it's a base action, you get the base action as well. If it's a player or empire action, it re-rolls.
Okay, yep.
Base actions affect both, doesn't it? If I remember.
I don't know.
If the Empire rolls something, one of us has to claim it. It doesn't have to be the person that rolled it.
Gotcha.
Right,
it's a thing that happens to us as a
Okay,
group.
so yeah, one of us has to claim the unforeseen complications again.
Yes, so one of you must claim unseen complications. You cannot use a building type of your choice this turn. The next turn.
Cool.
Bummer, dude.
So what are people going to choose?
I am not going to use my...
Hey man, I could shut down my bazaars, but that's like
total. Fine, I'm not going to use my Colosseum.
Okay, so you cannot use your Colosseum next turn. That's a very interesting one. All right. So, the Empire got its ass kicked a little bit.
Hooray!
And you also got annoyed a little bit, so I guess that works.
So, so you rolled, 2 1s and 18 and... What, sorry? 4?
2 1s and 18 and a 4.
So who's claiming the 4?
Chris is, I thought.
Yes.
I rolled it, so yeah.
So you're claiming it. What building do you want to exchange?
I can borrow the use of one of somebody else's, can't I?
Yes, use the building of another player as if it were your own.
Does anyone have any military buildings they can temporarily lend me?
I can lend you a fortress.
That'll do. I can use that to help train up my troops and go for a more forceful military pushback of some type.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I can't use my Colosseum. Is it because you're using it?
Yeah.
Part of me wants to say that shouldn't happen, because then it basically just circumvents the problem.
Exactly.
I mean,
your Colosseum's down for renovation. I think it's done.
I let the scholars use it, and now it's crap.
Pretty much. They got all these books with words on them. Duh.
All right. So with that, Purple, do you want to start next round or take a break now?
I am gonna put. What are the Empire actions?
I can put the new Empire actions down.
I'm gonna take my 3. I'll take all the player ones off.
Scrub the board down.
I'm going to use some of the same ones.
Miss those old-fashioned whiteboards. They're satisfying.
I mean, they don't work so well over the internet, though.
This is true.
Just having a load of white, clean boards is really good for tabletop games, so I've been finding.
Yeah. I need to get some.
Okay, and I'm gonna put one here. All right, all interactions are down.
You've got.
Cool.
Probably. Okay.
Right, so what have the Empire done so far? They've been just messing with the...
Yeah, I think the Empire's just been trying to mess with you subtly.
They've been testing the waters, yeah.
They haven't been doing much just yet, and I think that they're a tiny bit... I think they're more cautious after you effectively tried to sue them, and their army's in a bit of a revolt. So they're not exactly doing very well in that so far, but luckily they have many other ways to screw you guys over.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Iron Bend doing?
Iron Bend.
Right. I don't know. I don't feel like I've built up enough enmity to really go for them right now. So I am going to be doing a double point thing. This won't scrub out an Empire action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find one of the ones they put over something nice. and I'm going to put a double military over it.
Okay.
And I'm going to put another double military. So basically, if they do get to screw me, I then get to have double military points next time to go back at them.
Right, okay.
Is my idea.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Like, your army probably becomes, like, embittered and really wants to kick their ass.
And I'm going to expand that to the 12 as well. And I am going to, again, put a build military over riots.
Okay.
So that's with my industrial points.
Awesome. Okay. What about the other two?
Okay. So as
over
I
there. So what we're going to do, our gardens are working out well, man. They're working so well. So we're going to build some of those. So I'm going to take a build action for 3 points with 3 academic to plant some lovely gardens and properly irrigate it and all that stuff.
Nice.
If that works, so build. And could I use another 2 points if it's a 3.1 to put it somewhere else? Spreading out?
Yeah.
Grand. So I'm going to put that one on Betrayal, because Betrayal sucks and no one likes it.
Yeah, Betrayal does suck.
I don't think it wipes out the Empire action there, but...
No, it does not.
But we'll get some benefits for whatever cracks off there.
Well, do we want to get rid of Betrayal because they've already gone over it?
That's good. Okay, that's a good point.
But then again, we don't know what that 7 is. So
yeah, that's what I say. Nothing else I really want to take over. So I'm all good. Yeah, I'm just gonna put those builds there.
So basically, it'll be a double-edged sword if they do beat us like that. Yeah,
it won't be as painful.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am going to use my academics to begin building a fortress of my own.
Nice.
So that's going to be...
You're going to build an academic fortress?
Yeah. Well, it's using my academics to be good at building fortresses, so it's going to be the latest and greatest...
The fortress is academic, maintaining it is military.
Well, it's all the latest and greatest military technology of...
technology I would say the academic or industrial. But
some crazy 8 trigram defense formation and that sort of thing.
It's like that time Japan made those cities that floated on the water, and they were really impregnable except when someone tipped the island over.
Yeah. All the mad Japanese people who built castles next to the castles so they could siege in the back.
Yeah.
That happened. They built a castle overnight.
Japanese castles tend to be a bit weird because they had really heavy foundations, but a lot of the actual structure was wood and paper.
It's because they were burned easily. Pleasure palaces first, military afterwards.
Well, then they tended to just burn down and get rebuilt every so often, compared to like a European castle, which is this big freaking solid lump of rock.
Exactly.
Cool.
Nice. Anyway, okay. So has everyone done their actions?
No, I need to actually write them down. So,
what would you like to do, Chris?
So I'm building a fortress over in one of my squares, and I'm also I'm currently using some of the military forces of Iron Bend, giving me access to current total of 3 military. There's not really much. I'm going to try and at least keep an eye out on whatever the...
I mean, are you going to use the reveal action thing? I've noticed we haven't used that at all yet.
Yeah, actually, that'd be a good idea because I forgot about that.
Right, so reveal action would be, if that is rolled, I reveal one of the actions I take on the board?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Let me actually write that down because we're action. Yeah, so I'm buffing up my own military while temporarily borrowing some of Iron Ben's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So is that everything?
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay, so someone roll me dice, please.
Cool. So, oh.
A 4.
No, I said, I got a 9.
4. Okay, 9. You got 9. So for an aid, you may give another player one of your actions for this turn, as in the next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I got a 2.
2. You got backlash, so you did actually get my one.
Yeah, so the Empire takes over for the base, but I also build as well. Hooray.
Yes, so let's see what number 5 was in my table. Okay,
7, wasn't it? Oh, no.
No, it was 5.
Yeah.
Right.
On the wrong sheet.
Okay, so... Oh, you got a very interesting one.
Oh, no.
You got Mystify the Seers.
Okay.
So the idea of that is essentially any actions you choose to take that involve buildings like Prophets or buildings like the Astronomy Tower, you need to pay one more action point to use those buildings.
For a turn or forever and ever?
This turn.
Okay.
So this is a temporary thing. You cannot pay anything to get rid of it.
Gosh, dang it. They know where to hit us.
Right in the weed.
Why I oughta.
I have no idea how to spell Mystify, so...
That's fine.
Cool.
Awesome. So, yep, that was
and
number
then I get to build
2.
a garden.
Yep, and you get to build a thing.
Hooray!
All right. So, those 2 things have happened. Chris, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 4. That was mildly disappointing.
4.
Someone else got to build.
So someone else got a build action.
Yes.
I had a build action.
Did you put one on 4?
Yeah, we just... No, I put my... I put on Betrayal.
Okay, so whose is the build on? Oh, that was Chris's, was it?
That was mine, yeah.
Yeah, that's yours.
Yeah.
That was the
You get your military.
Okay.
Stick that next to the river, just in case.
And my one was, sadly for me, 13. Tranquility. Either one building becomes a garden, or 2 instability. Yes,
I will take
has
that.
to turn one of your buildings into a garden.
Hey man, don't worry about that. I've got that, bro.
So you turn one of your buildings into a garden.
No problem. The Prophet man, he's just going to become a gardener, man. He's stressed, bruv.
All right, that's
retiring. He's retiring. He's had a good life.
So people who need to build
too many times.
He was so mystified. He's like, you know what? I just give up.
Someone needs to work out who's doing foreign aid.
Yes, foreign aid is something that should be discussed, but apart from that, I think everything else has been dealt with.
Does anyone want to claim it?
Hey man, look, you've all been good to me, right? You've solved me through thick and thin. Actually, you've not done anything, but I'm pretty sure you have. So, I'm going to give Purple one of my actions. I think he's going to do well with it. I think he's going to go far.
Which action?
What type of action are you going to give him?
It might not work, but I only have 2 right now, which is academic and mercantile. So,
I've got none of those.
Do you have either of those, Chris?
I've got industrial.
I have 3 academic. If you throw more my way, then
so it might be useful for you. Just to say, the rule as written says you may give another player one of your actions for this turn. You do not have to.
No, I'm going to give all 6 of my actions to Chris.
Oh God!
I mean, I think that's okay because it's a good action. So the idea of you may give mean that if you don't want to because you have a plan, then you don't have to. It just means you've wasted an action.
Or you can I can still give Chris a big swing turn now. So
we can talk about that next time as to whether you may are allowed.
We'll see what Chris does with his action, if it's fair or not.
So what resources do you have? 3 some academic and...
I have 6 academic. And 1 merchant. And I have 1 bazaar, 1 embassy, and the rest is all...
You are super focused.
I'm a focused boy. One soldier could probably conquer all of me. Not going to lie. One guy with a pointy bit of metal is like, we didn't plan for this.
Yeah,
the thing is, I think both times we've all built really differently, so we don't really benefit from things like foreign aid. Whereas if we had, foreign aid, like specializing would make us more vulnerable to some things, like certain types of building can't be used and stuff like that, or like all things of a certain point type are more expensive. But it also means we'd be able to pull actions better.
I think foreign aid, so it hasn't come up so far because I haven't had many of my actions be played, but I believe in like certain empire actions, having foreign aid is really effective for those.
Yeah.
Because I think the idea of foreign aid is usually it tends to come when you're in trouble as opposed to when you're not.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes, but I think based on what I can see of what my actions are, it can be a useful action
to
have. Okay, so that's the end of the second season. And with that, I believe we're going to take a break now. So when we come back, we'll be doing season 3 of this war. And we will see you guys then.
All right, in a bit.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.